really all my career in finance, accounting, and fell into the microfinance space. And the way I think microfinance fits in sustainability is not from an environmental perspective, which is how most people sometimes think about sustainability, but more from, we have a person, a family, or a unit, a household unit. How can you help that person maintain or grow the income that they need, not just for themselves, but oftentimes for the family, the children that they're trying to support. The sustainability we focus on is of the lives of the people that we're helping. These are individual mothers, fathers, and predominantly folks that have come usually 5 years living in this country and trying to basically stand on their own 2 feet.
My role is to get employees sort of engaged and motivated and involved around our social causes that we champion as a corporate foundation. And those are primarily K through 12 education literacy and domestic violence awareness and prevention. And we have a variety of programs, including our Melting Gifts programs. We have a volunteer program where we encourage employees to get involved and volunteer with their local communities, and if they volunteer 50 more hours with the non-profit, they can get a $750 grant for that organization, and again, we oversee that program as well. And we also coordinate a couple of different employee giving events during the year as well. The focus that I'm involved in is on the, shall we say, the philanthropic and social side of the triple bottom line equation.
Well, from my perspective as a consultant in the nonprofit sector, I look at sustainability in terms of sustainability of that third sector of the economy. And there's certain things that business cannot accomplish that are not profitable to do. And there's a real role for nonprofits, and so our mission is really to ensure the sustainability of those organizations to have a healthy sector. Certainly, you don't want to leave money on the table where there are income-generating opportunities, but it also comes from having a very strong sense of mission, a sense of purpose, and a clear plan to success, because if you need to attract philanthropic funds, which the vast majority of nonprofits need to do, in our view, philanthropy comes from being able to show people a vision to a better world, and that you need to have a strong strategy if you're going to be able to be successful in bringing in donations.
And I decided that if I'm going to be promoting the environment and environmental paper and printing, that I'm going to do the maximum. I'm not going to go back in 1990 to be recycled. All you need to do is be 50% recycled, and that could be just pre-consumer paper. And nothing that didn't even say anything about post-consumer. Matter of fact, the only state in the country back in 1990 that had post-consumer as part of their mandate was California. 10% had to be post-consumer, 40% could be pre-consumer. But I'm sitting there going, you know what? I think I'll just go right to 100% post-consumer right there, 1990. So most people didn't even know what post-consumer content is. It's paper that's been printed on, has been utilized, went to the ultimate consumer, it's been used for its intended purpose, and now the decision is do we recycle it, do we burn it, do we landfill it? Part of my reason for getting involved back in 1990 is that the Fresh Kills landfill was so high, I think it was 10 stories high, that they couldn't land planes at Newark Airport.
What I was looking for at the time was to find a way to make an impact on the nonprofit sector. And what I kept finding is that the nonprofit organizations couldn't figure out what to do with the MBA. They didn't have the right role, the type of work that I want. They could see the value that I could bring to them, but they didn't really have a role that made sense. And so what I started doing was doing little projects with organizations that I knew. And from those little projects, I started to think, gee, there might be a business here.
The idea that you can't just take a deposit from someone in a community and never provide loans for that community basically created an obligation for banks to at least try to lend in the communities that they take deposits from. And that premise has been enforced throughout the consolidation stage of the banking industry, and it's what banks use as kind of a social report card in terms of how they've invested or not invested in various communities. So because we serve people that can't access bank money or any type of traditional money, banks lend to us, and we're the in-between, and we on-lend to and then borrow. So what we see is banks have participated with us in part to fulfill requirements that they have for the CRA.